I think succeeding is just staying. My brother gave me this quote, a good quote the other night. Barack Obama said about like,
Jews?
don't. What was it? It was like don't worry about like trying to do something. Worry about doing something. Or don't worry about who you want to be. Worry about what you want to do.
Ooh, how's my hair, by the way? Is it good?
Fucking
Wait, repeat.
Fucking so good. That fucking hair is
It's
so
like, it's like you're a cook that's cooking me compliments.
Yeah, I'm like, the hair is so good. You got the best complexion in all of fucking
No, you look
Italy.
fabulous as well.
Yeah, thanks,
So I was
buddy.
thinking to myself, I'm like, this guy doesn't even dress up, but he looks smooth as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, I wore this sweatshirt for today, knowing that there's a stain on here that I just cannot get off because I wanted to talk about.
Okay,
I wanted to talk about.
But what happened to Obama though? I really want to know.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I
I really want to know.
Yeah, he said, don't worry about what you want to be. Worry about what you want to do. You understand what that means?
Yeah.
Should I explain?
Explain as I put on the timer on the phone because I almost forgot.
Yeah. Worry about what you want to be is worrying like, oh, I want to be on the Tonight Show. Worrying about what you want to do is being like, oh, I want to just make people laugh. Because saying I want to be on the Tonight Show, that's not out of your control. It doesn't. It's just like a lofty goal. Like it doesn't really. There's no functionality or action items that you can take to really do that. But if you say I want to make people laugh, you know how to do that. You go on stage. Not I want to make people laugh. I want to make people laugh. You go on stage, and you get up and do sets and stuff, and then slowly but surely, if you get good enough and you're funny, you'll be on the Tonight Show, or you'll be on something close to that.
So basically, you're saying like worry about what you can control.
Basically, it's the same thing.
Right. I love that. I love that. And so Obama's like, I want to, kill people in the Middle East with drones. Instead of no, I'm just kidding.
I love Obama.
Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan Garano. Hey crew, what's going on? My name is Jonathan Garano.
Hey, I'm Noah Findling,
and welcome to the
Bottle
Club.
Club.
We're about to talk about the podcast.
Yeah.
By the way, how are you enjoying this before we begin, before we talk about some things? You enjoying this?
The podcast?
Guys, the crew, leave some comments down below and you're like, you know what? I think Noah's kind of cool. I think Jonathan's kind of cool. And
yeah.
The things. What happened to your sweater, by the way? What the fuck happened to that stain?
I had a stain.
Okay,
I don't
explain
know.
this to me.
I don't know, but my point is like this is a great sweatshirt. I think the color's great. I think it looks good on me.
Yeah.
I stained this shirt 5 days into getting it. And then I can't wear this shirt anymore because of like one little stain. And it's like some people go to the mall and they pay like
$500 for a sweater.
That's ripped.
Right.
That's the look. It's like, okay, so I'm like, this is like a premise that people have said before, but it's like bullshit. Like, this is a great sweater. I got one fucking stain. Now I can't wear it anymore.
Who says you can't wear it anymore?
That's what people are saying.
Who's these people, dude?
That's it. You can't. You go
Society.
outside. Yeah, society's like, ugh, gross. You got a fucking stain on your shirt. Get the hell out of here.
So you're like, fuck society. I don't care what people are saying. I'm gonna wear what I want to wear, and if it has a stain, it's fashion.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't smell. I'm like, yeah, it's it's part of the outfit.
Wait. So, okay. I look at you right now.
Like, as long as it's not like puke.
Oh, listen. Maybe I'm not a fashion person, but when I saw the sweater, didn't even see the stain.
See, that's what I'm saying. Nobody even fucking cares.
Right. So this is what I say.
Who are these people? They're in my head.
If you think that you're invisible, if you think your stain is invisible, you are invisible. It's like if you're an assassin or a ninja or you're recording someone and you don't want them to know that
I'm an assassin.
Yeah. You you just believe that you're invisible and you become invisible. So you believe that the stain is not there and it's not there. It's your mind, dude.
Yeah, it's like that's why sometimes people can call attention to things that their flaws that nobody even cares about.
Exactly.
Like if you have a presentation or if you do in stand up, if you do a joke and you're like, this one's not funny. I do this all the time.
Right.
I'm definitely sometimes I'm like that's a new joke. Like, but doing that, it's like nobody cares. Nobody didn't bomb or whatever.
It only cares if you
care. If you bring attention to it.
Think about your mind, right? So
yeah. and that's if you commit crimes too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. Can I tell?
You got a story?
Yeah, I do about that. But I will say this: your mind is so powerful. It's like when you watch. So this is I don't know who said this, but your mind is so powerful in the aspect of, for example, when you're watching porn, right? You are there, and your mind thinks it's real, and so therefore you jump into not only this make-believe land, but this like alternate reality. And in that moment, you think you are, one with the thing that you're watching.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing goes for in real life. If you imagine so hard that you are in a position where your insecurities are not shown and you're completely confident,
Yeah.
your actions will just become what you're thinking.
Right.
That imagined reality. I sound like a strong white woman, I guess, that believes in crystals, but this is... This is like the emphasis of a confirmation bias, right? You are having this bias inside your mind that you are actually greater than what you think others might think you are.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to just fucking shut the fuck up.
Right. Look at your stain. That's fucking fashion is what you're saying. That's fashion.
Essence.
So, okay. Talking about invisibility land.
Yeah.
Okay, I might go to jail for this, but whatever.
Okay.
So when I was I used to steal bicycles, and let me explain.
Mm-hmm.
Freshman year of college,
that happened all the time.
Right.
There was a bike stealer on my campus.
That's probably me.
You think so? You were going all around the American Southwest stealing bikes. He went all the way.
I had a whole crew.
Yeah.
A little bit like I taught.
You had like an entourage, like a little.
What's it called? I got a little henchman.
Crime syndicate.
Yeah, crime syndicate.
Yeah. For bike thieves.
Fuck you, Tony Soprano. Yeah. I am Jonathan Garano, bro.
We're stealing bikes. Okay.
We're going around.
We're gonna fucking steal bikes.
Polly, give me.
Polly, shut the fuck up. Go get that. You gotta teach this guy to ride a fucking bike?
Some people don't know how to ride bikes.
Do you?
Yes, I do, thank God.
All right,
what about you?
I do. Yeah.
I can always train you. I'm a really good teacher.
My dad taught me.
Oh, what did he do? Did he put you like on a bicycle and then like
I definitely did training wheels for a couple weeks.
Oh, wow. So he just didn't let go. He just said.
And then at one point he was like, okay, let's hop onto this one day. We'll do a couple days in a row until you get it. I remember one time him being like getting frustrated because I was like a little piece of shit.
You are.
And he was like, just get on the bike and do it. And then I think I did it, and it's like it was like one of my favorite things to do in childhood.
Biking is the best.
It's the best.
It's the best. My father was so different.
Really?
Yeah, we lived in this place near San Clemente, Orange County, and there was this massive hill, and I was like, oh, I really want to ride my bike. I really want to learn. So he took off the training wheels, and I think I did for a week, and he's like, all right, get on the bike. Let's go on top of the hill.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, he looked at me and he's like, I believe in you. Okay, he didn't say those words. I don't remember what he said.
Yeah,
all I remember
but it was good. It was something good.
It was something good.
Yeah, like to bump you up.
Right, bump me up.
Yeah.
And then I was on top of the hill, and then he just pushed me.
Wow.
And I started screaming.
Yeah.
And luckily, thank God, as I'm about to hit this van, I just lean to the side and I fall into some grass. And then my father comes up to me and he believes in God or whatever. And he's like, you were saved by your guardian angel. I don't know. He's a weird dude.
He believes in God?
Yeah, even though he was so abusive
and
violent.
He was abusive and violent?
Yeah.
Why do you think someone who believes in God wouldn't be abusive? Like, why does that?
Why does Tony Soprano believe in the Holy Mary of Jesus Christ even though he kills a bunch of people and has tons of affairs?
Because he's out of fucking options.
Right. So maybe that's exactly what my father... He's just a sociopath.
Yeah, he's a narcissist.
He's a narcissist. Yeah. I was going to get to stealing bikes, but can I tell you a story about my dad? Okay, this is kind of like who he is as a person. Yeah. But don't worry. Yeah. I don't know if I want to get dark all of a sudden.
No, please. Come on, man. Let's do it. Dude, shut the fuck up, man. Do it.
So, when I was like maybe 15 or 16, I had this a lot of these anger management issues, and it's due to my upbringing, right? Yeah. Especially when you are in a family that's very violent.
Yes.
And so I was having an argument one day with my mother, and I was frustrated. So I went to my room, and in frustration, I had this spoon, and I threw it as hard as I could, and it made a dent into my wall.
I've been there.
And I was like, oh my God, if my father sees this, he's going to get so upset. I don't know what to do. So I became super frantic. I was bipolar. I started getting too high. I started hyperventilating. My anxiety went, to about 150%. I run into the garage. I grab some paint. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to paint the wall. I come back inside my room. And then again, in frustration, I'm like, oh, my dad's going to get so frustrated that I threw the paint can down on the floor, and it hits the carpet, and it flies up and it bounces upwards, and it makes an even bigger dent into the wall. So now there's I freaking break down and cry. So I go into frantic mode again. I take out the paint can. I take out the paint. Paint starts coming all over on my chest. I start just like splashing it on there. I don't know what to do. I take newspaper. I put it in. I try to cover it. Yeah. I'm like, my father's going to get so upset. What am I doing? I panic too. My anxiety, my PTSD, my mania is up the wazoo that I can't even fucking think, because I know that if my father sees it, he's going to be so upset. Yeah. So I cover it all up. There's paint all over my hands. He's coming home tomorrow from whatever job work that he's coming from. He owned or was an entrepreneur. So then why did you do that? Because he lost all our money when he got divorced. Oh man. And we live on food stamps, whatever. It makes me a better man for it. So then I wash it all off, and I'm like, oh my God, Jonathan, please, dear God, hopefully my father just doesn't come into my room and sees the mess. That's all I care about. So I close my door, and I hear the garage open. The car's coming in. I'm like, oh my God, okay, please, just whatever you do, don't go in my room. So I go into the living room. I start playing the piano. Some Gimino-Petty, number 3 or whatever the fuck, just to distract him. So he goes inside the piano room instead of my room. The door opens. He comes in.
What are these noises?
I don't know. These are noises of the door. It makes it easier
for me.
It makes it easier for me.
You live in a spaceship?
Yeah. I teleport. But I'm in the piano room. I'm playing Gimino-Petty, and for some odd reason, just my luck, he decides to enter my room because he wants to hang up a photo that he got for me. And all of a sudden I hear, oh my God, Jonathan, get in here. I'm like, fuck. I get into my room.
How old are you?
I'm 14.
Okay.
And the first thing he does, he pulls my shirt and he throws me against the wall.
Oh my God.
And he's like, what did you fucking do? And then he's so smart. He's like a freaking genius, because he never would when he punched you, he never punched you on the face or anything. Yeah. He punched you on the side, or he punched me in the stomach, or hit me on the head.
Oh man. Dude.
And I was like, oh my God, and as he's hitting me, he's he put me, how dare you destroy this wall? Do you know how hard I work?
Oh my God.
How dare you do this? Why did you do this? And he took me, started choking me. Why would you do this? Why would you do this?
He choked you?
Yeah, he choked me, and then he put me down. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't worry. I'll take care of it. I'm so sorry. He's like, we'll talk about it. After about maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes of this, I remember my mother coming in. I looked at her.
Did it hurt? Were you hurting?
I was definitely hurting. I mean, bruises all over my body. I mean, the worst thing that he's ever done, I was 10 years old and he broke my nose. But other than that.
Oh, man, dude.
And so my mother comes in. Don't worry. Whatever he did to me, whatever he did to my siblings was like seeing that is visually, ugh. But anyway, so then my mother comes in and she looks at me. I'm like, Mom, help me. She did nothing. But I learned about the cycle of violence later. Anyway, so.
What do you mean?
The cycle of violence? Well,
yeah,
I'll finish the story really quickly.
Yeah, finish it, sorry.
But basically, the reason why I find it hilarious.
He's beating me. I'm thrown against the floor.
It's because when he lectured me 2 days later, he's like, Jonathan, why do you have anger management issues? I'm like, what? He's like, when I get angry, do you see me destroying property? And I looked at him, and I thought, it was at that moment that I lost respect. It was well, you don't destroy property, but you do like to destroy people. Yeah. But what do I mean?
Did you say that?
No. I mean, I didn't comprehend until maybe I was 18 or 19. Wow, this guy's a crazy man. Yeah. The cycle of violence. So the cycle of violence.
Wait, so what did you say? How did that end? It just ended on, why do you destroy property? That's it?
Yeah, and then he lectured me about how to deal with my anger management. He's like, do you need to go to therapy? Blah, blah, blah.
Did he go to therapy?
No, he never went to therapy.
I have a stand-up bit that reminds me of this idea is that like I have a bit about going to therapy. When I was a kid, my mom, they did not want me to go to therapy, but it wasn't it didn't feel like an open door to me. Maybe it would have been. Maybe I didn't ask well enough. I don't know. But I remember wanting to, and it didn't happen. And I have a bit about like my dad would always be like, you need to go to therapy. Why? You could just talk to me.
But it's about you.
And he'd be like, what, you can't talk to me? Oh, great. Now you can't talk to me. This is unbelievable. I put food on the table. I put clothes on your back. And now you're telling me you can't talk to me. And then I'd be like, Dad, you should see a therapist. And he'd be like, and then there was like a earlier part of the bit where he'd always advise me like to, if you're feeling anxious, why don't you go take a dump?
Is that what he said? If you feel anxious,
go take a dump. Go take a shower. Bang your head against the wall. Seriously, do those 3 things. You'll be fine. And so at the end of that bit, I'm like, you should go see a therapist. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna go take a dump later, and I'll push it out. Be good.
That's kind of smart, though. I mean, taking dumps is the way to like.
Showering does release a lot of anxiety too. I love showering.
It's because you're alone.
You're alone. The water in your face. It's like a spa.
Do you take baths?
With a woman.
Ooh. Wait, so if your father is so invested in making sure that you open up to him, did he ever open up to you when it comes to sex, for example? Like, did he teach you about the birds? Well, tell me the story. What happened?
I remember I was the first woman I was trying to have relations with.
Sex with? Nice.
I said relations.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Someone's growing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
For many years, I had really bad anxiety, and I had a lot of trouble. Look, I'll say it. Getting an erection.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I had a lot of anxiety. Like, been put in those situations, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't let go. A couple times maybe, but like, I really struggled I would say like from 18 to honestly, I don't know, 23 or 24.
Okay.
I'm not saying I didn't have sex in that time. I'm just saying like
it's a psychological thing.
I would go through these periods of like I would just get in my head and it would be like months, and then all of a sudden I would, it would happen or whatever. But I remember the first times I was trying to lose my virginity.
Right.
I couldn't
perform,
and me and my partner at the time tried so many times. I'm not kidding, like 30 times.
So she would like hit
not
it.
Not in a night. Yeah, she'd hit it. She would spit on it. She would punch it, uppercut. Yeah, she's doing everything she possibly can do. Yeah. Is that doing anything for you? No. Anything? No, still not. Really? Yeah.
Oh, maybe she was unattractive.
No, she was attractive, yeah. And that was the thing, is like I think she ended up not cheating, but like she made out with her ex-boyfriend and they ended up wanting to get back together, and she broke up with me. And I'm sure she felt like at that age, felt like, oh, this isn't happening. Like we've tried so many times, we can't get to that next place in this relationship. And I'm going to go see a guy who did make me feel like sexy and special, and I couldn't make her feel like that, and I don't blame her.
You got to be present with her body too. That's like the relationship.
What it is just we weren't right for each other, I think, is what that is telling. Like, I think your Chaim Shrim and your head are smart. They're like, no, maybe we're not letting you do this because we don't think this is right for you. Maybe
also it's because you are a sensitive, emotional.
I need
individual.
to connect. Yeah,
right.
I can't just go in there and fuck.
Remember, we're beta males.
Yeah, beta males. That's right. So my dad. So I go to my dad. I'm like, hey, I think I have erectile dysfunction.
Sorry for laughing.
No, it's hilarious. I'm 17.
Right.
Or maybe 18.
Were you watching a lot of porn?
No,
maybe?
I'm 17. What?
Could you be watching a lot of porn?
I don't think it was that.
Okay,
because I watch a fair amount of porn now, and I don't have any trouble in that department anymore. And I think it's because I found someone I'm really into. You know. But
so you go to your dad.
So I go to my dad. Yeah, I'm like IVD, and he was like, "What?" I'm like, "I think IVD." He's like, "ED, okay. Do you get hard when you jerk off?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You don't got ED."
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay. He was like, is when you're doing this thing, are you touching yourself or are they touching you? And I was like, kind of. And he was like, you're fine. Just try to relax, And I was like, okay. I mean, it was so unhelpful, but like, what are you going to say? It's like one thing that like, I have to get past that. Like, there's nothing any advice or parental advice anybody could give you. Also, it was like awkward talking about this with my dad because
Yeah.
he wasn't like thrilled that I was like having sex at that age, anyways.
He was like, "Why are you having sex?" And on top of that, he can't even. My son can't even perform.
Yeah, he's like, this is why you can't have sex because you can't do it. You gotta wait.
Oh, maybe. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a really good one.
Maybe
God was telling you this wasn't the right person.
I guess.
So when did the ED suddenly like disappear? Like when did that anxiety dissipate or expunge?
It's crazy. It really depended. It would go away when I was with someone who, like, just certain people it would go away with. I think people that made me feel comfortable and that I was like really like almost like not like prehistorically or like in an evolutionary way, like I was attracted to. Like I'm having a hard time explaining what that is.
It's the balance between where your sexual desires plus the emotional
like the
desires,
animalistic desire.
It's equal.
Yeah, like I think there are a ton of beautiful people in the world, but some people I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really hot person, but I'm not like, oh, I need to do it. I need to try to have a relation,
You know why?
Because
you're evolved.
Yeah, totally.
You're not here just to populate everything.
No.
You're here to, become
Connect.
one with a person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, connect, that's a better word. Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking like.
So when I felt like I connected with people, I think it was like really great, and I think it showed to me like, oh, I think I'm like relationships more than.
I mean, the intimacy part is where it needs to lie and be with.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. Wow. So.
But I will say, like, even the person I'm with now, like, in the beginning, like, I had a little bit of trouble. This is so personal, but
it's fine. We've all had there.
Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble, and then over time it just went away as I got more comfortable. It's really low. Like I remember as early 20s having a lot of anxiety about this. Like being like, I'm never gonna have sex again. Like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get an erection? Like really, really fucking with my head. And like in college, I would bring girls back to
your humble abode or your dorm room?
My dorm room. And freshman year, like my freshman year, I would bring,
several women because he's a player.
I would bring, we were in college. Girls would come back to the dorm room. We would make out in my bed. And that's all they would, it would be like, oh, is this going to happen? And I like couldn't, like, I didn't ever really like try because I was never like, I always felt like, oh, I'm not going to get an erection.
Was the anxiety also coming from a place of performance? Because when my biggest anxiety or my biggest issue because I'm Asian American is like, hey, listen, especially I watch porn a lot, was wow, my dick isn't 10 inches or 8 inches.
Sure.
And so I think to myself,
it's really fucked up.
Right. My insecurity is heightened. And then I think, oh my gosh, will I be able to perform? Because when you perform, they want to have sex with you again.
Yeah.
Right. And so did that ever cross?
I think it just felt like a lot of pressure to me. Like it felt like.
Pressure of yourself, pressure of society.
Pressure on myself. It felt like in college, I remember like feeling a lot of pressure to have sex. I remember like guys around me being like, oh, I saw you brought that girl home last night. Did you guys fuck? And it's like, and I'd be like, ha, 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 ha. No, I didn't. And they would be like, really? Like you're bringing, just feeling like a little bit judged. And sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I have a bit about this now that I'm trying to work out on stage of just like, I don't buy that the male ego or men in their early 20s,
right,
or any man who hasn't been in a long-term relationship or hasn't hit older than 25 is like this fucking stallion fuck machine.
Exactly.
That's like making girls come. I don't buy it because it's like
I don't buy that either.
You don't know.
And also, I think it's this. I mean,
you don't know what you're doing.
Well, not just what you're doing. I think.
And how many women have come from another man, not from themselves or a woman?
30%.
Yeah,
that's what they say.
So it's like the numbers don't add up.
I think there's just this underlying.
The numbers don't add up.
They don't. I think there's this underlying pressure that you're supposed to, as a man, sleep with everything that walks around, and then you're considered as a quote unquote
player,
cool, and for some odd reason you're heightened as a man that we have to bow down to. And I think that an evolved individual or an evolved man, I guess, is to be number one. If you want to fuck around, that's great.
That's fine. Sex positivity.
But two, also, it's like, it's okay on your time if you don't want to sleep with someone just because the access is there.
Right.
And also, it is okay to review your emotional state of anxiety, your emotional aspect of will I perform. That's so important. And as men, I think we should be more aware of that and accept each other for that.
Yeah.
There should be no pressure to be like, you should sleep with everyone. There should just be pressure of, hey, how do you feel right now? Are you treating her with consent? Is she treating you with consent? Are you good? Then so be it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember. Oh man, I'm so happy. I feel like I've broken that sort of.
Well, you're the woman that. Sorry, oops, I didn't mean to peek. The woman that you're with, like, absolutely adores you, and you adore her. So you found someone that matches you, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's crazy when you're in that position how like second nature. I sound like I'm getting boners all the time. Just second nature it is to like be like, oh, I'm ready to have sex, you know, like we're having, you know what I mean? Like when you really are connected with someone, it's so like it's is there. Animalistic. It is like it just it takes over, you know, like when you're dating, when you have a partner and someone you care about and they care about you, like it's there.
Yeah. See, I'm different where I can't get it up, especially if I'm going as a manic. Like no matter how much they try, I won't even come if I'm inside of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah, really. Like one time, my ex-girlfriend, we were having sex and she began to cry because she was like, why can't I make you come? I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's not you.
It's not you.
It's me being bipolar where my emotions aren't just there.
There's a lot of like delicacy and sensitivity like in the bedroom. Like you have to, because you really are your most vulnerable self. You're practically naked.
I mean, you should be.
You should be.
Yeah. It's more fun.
I mean, I hate
because like
wearing,
the t-shirt gets in the way. It's like I have to move it up a little
Yeah.
bit. Like what's going on? And my favorite thing is when a woman takes her hand and places it against my heart.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels so good.
So good.
Give it to me right here.
Yeah,
One of the most romantic things. I was in the shower with this girl, and she takes her hand and she places it against my chest, and she looks at me and she's like, "I love you."
Yeah, it's really sweet. Yeah.
I need you.
Oh.
Right. It's beautiful. We're beta males, dude. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And
beta males.
We're the best.
Monday nights on ABC.
Welcome. That's CBS will buy us.
CBS.
Yes. Yeah, but
I was about to go into a full, first act of beta males on CBS, and I'm not gonna do it.
Hey, I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you had a positive experience. My experience with my father, I like how this will never be a TikTok clip, but like whatever, because I'm thinking about it right now. We're at the dinner table. I started getting into porn, obviously, at the age of like 13, 14, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was homeschooled to 10th grade. And so I had a lot of free time to be able to like jump into forums where people gave us usernames and passwords. Yeah. You know, because I was like one of those like nerd kids that loved to hack, but I wasn't really hacking. People just like gave me war.
Your parents were so proud of how good you are at computers. And you're like, yeah, but actually I'm just watching porn.
I'm just watching porn.
Beavis?
Yeah. So we had and the thing is we had the porn. The computers like in the living room.
Porn?
So like that's where I watched it. But anyway, so one day, I'm sitting down on the dining table with all my younger siblings and my father, and when you grow up with someone that is like an abuser, you're always like on the watch. And so I could feel like he was upset. He was a little angry. And we're eating dinner and I look at him like, hey, Dad, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. Are you upset? What did I do?
Yeah.
And he's like, don't force me to do this, Jonathan. You're not going to like it. I'm like, no, Dad, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. And he looks at me, and in like with his vibrato of a voice, Jonathan, do you like to fuck girls in the ass?
Wow.
That's so uncomfortable. And it's so uncomfortable when my younger siblings are there. I'm like, what are you talking about? What?
How old are you?
I have like 13, 14. And I'm like, what are you talking? What? And he's like, do you like to fuck girls? Tell me. I'm like, I don't know.
Do you like to fuck girl? You heard me.
And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, come. And he like takes my hand and he goes to the computer. And he's like, I was checking your browser history and look, tell me, what is all of this?
What is this?
What is this?
What is BBW's anal gasm? What is What is anal vibrator?
What is BBL?
Grandmas.
What is all of this stuff?
What is
stepdaughter?
What is stepdaughter?
What is-
fuck stepson?
You like doing laundry? What
Yeah.
is this stuck in the laundry room?
What is teacher teaches math?
So
Sorry, that's actually just school work.
So I look at him and I'm like, I start like breaking down. I'm like, yo, I'm like, oh, you understand? I'm just a computer hacker. I like to hack this stuff. I'm not doing anything with this. And
I'm just hacking.
I'm just hacking. And
I'm just a hacker.
And that's exactly what. He was just so upset. And I think as I got older, I think he was addicted to that. And
Really? To porn?
I think so. And then I think he
was embarrassed.
He was using that against me because he was like, oh my God, I can't believe my son has all these usernames and passwords and I don't. But
he's like, he's so fucking good at porn.
But so that's my experience with my father. And then he drastically wanted to cheat on my mom. And so for some odd reason, he would always ask me for like girl advice. And that became super weird.
Oh man, did your mom know about that?
Yeah. I mean, thank God. He was a very like sociopath. I'm so glad.
Jesus, were they in an open relationship?
No.
So he was just cheating on her.
He tried to, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he did when he went to the Philippines.
But nobody wanted to fuck him.
I mean, when I saw him in the Philippines, he's just a weird fuck. I don't know.
Man.
But anyway,
Did you like? I was like, but nobody wanted to fuck him.
I mean, what's really cool is that I have stories for days with him that I could definitely put anywhere. So when people go, what do you think about your childhood? I go, I don't care what he did to me. I care what he did to my siblings.
Right.
But I got stories.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
You do. Actually, that reminds me. This is not an abusive story, but my sister walked in on me watching porn and watching porn once.
Yes.
And I was masturbating. It was so embarrassing. Should I tell you about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it all starts.
I like this, guys. This is the bonus episode,
Yeah.
not the bonus episode, but this is like no TikTok clips, which is fine.
So my it starts at a fourth grade basketball game. Okay, it's like a Sunday. We have like an afternoon tournament. My dad's the coach. I'm not playing because I was bad. And I just discovered that my brother has Kazaa on his computer in his room.
I love Kazaa.
Yeah, and he's got porn on it. Okay.
Explain people what Kazaa is.
Kazaa was like an old like Napster. It was like a data you could
it's
download.
Like LimeWire. Yeah.
You could like download stuff illegally, like whatever you want, videos, music, anything. So I tell my dad, the coach, I'm like, hey coach. He's like, call me dad, and I'm like, really? And he's like, no, actually call me coach. And I'm like, okay coach. I have a stomach ache. Can my sister take me? I shouldn't say her name. Bleep it out. So I'm like, can she take me home?
Yeah.
I have a stomach ache. And he's like, yeah, of course. You're not playing anyway. So, take off. So my sister takes me home. She goes into the living room, watches TV. I go into my brother's room, still in my game uniform, still in sneakers. Okay. Didn't feel any change. Go on to Kazaa. And I start watching. I pull my pants down and I
have at it.
Yeah. I pleasure myself. And after a few minutes, all of a sudden the door opens. I thought I locked it. My sister's like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is a pop-up. I don't know what this is. It's a pop-up. It's a pop-up." And she's like, "Okay." And she runs
you're
out.
popped up. You're popped up.
I'm like, she runs out. I like pull my pants up and I'm like, fuck. This is so fucking embarrassing.
She saw you naked jerking off?
I think I like just got my pants up, but it was either like cover my pants or turn off the porn.
Oh, always cover your pants.
Yeah, so I covered my pants and then I turned off the porn, but like she saw I was like,
right.
It was like a close-up shot too of like anal or something.
Yes.
It was like gross. It was like nothing I was like into, but it just happened to be on.
And it's like I gotta whack it off.
Yeah. And then she like went downstairs. I stayed upstairs. We were home alone, like in the house, like in different parts of the house for like a couple hours.
Oh my God.
And then at one point, I walked downstairs and I'm like, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? She's like, Mom's making lasagna, and we just never talked about it. And honestly, if she sees this clip, this will be the first time
you talked about
I've ever mentioned it to her. So that'll be a real nice full circle moment.
Yeah, I think this is an Instagram clip, not a TikTok. But
Sure.
Community guidelines would definitely ban this.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh, every sex thing that we talked about is banned. Yeah.
Damn, I'm sorry.
No, I talked about sex too. It's good.
Talk about sex, babe.
We're here to just be real, baby.
Yeah, we're here to be real.
I don't care.
Hey, girl, we're here to be real.
Beep. Your brother He's a good man.
Thank you. She knows that. I mean,
How was she older than you, or was she?
Yeah,
younger
she's 9
than you?
years older than me.
Oh my gosh, she's definitely understanding.
Yeah.
You're 9 years old. She's 17.
Yeah.
She's like, this makes sense.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. I don't even. We can't talk about this on TikTok either. But I don't even think I was able to have an orgasm then or produce ejaculation, is the medical term.
Right, because no white stuff.
Yeah, no white stuff.
No clam chowder.
Like I
no
definitely,
cottage cheese.
Yeah. This is what's crazy about sex for men is like we are so horny that we start to. I think a lot of men will start to masturbate before they can have an orgasm, before they can produce semen.
That's true. I remember watching American Pie, and I think that was my first erection with Shannon Elizabeth. But I don't think I came. I just kept on rubbing it out until it hurt.
Yeah, until it hurt, and then you're like,
so I was super young. I don't think I could.
I kind of miss those days. Oh, I miss those days.
Yeah, we're like the little things can get you an erection.
Well, not even that. Just like no cleanup.
Oh.
Yeah.
You do have to do a lot of cleanup.
So much. Sometimes I'm like
my walls
Jesus.
are just scattered.
Oh my God. You're coming in with like a full like.
As I lean to the left,
mop.
I'm like, oh no! No! So wait, what are some of these talking points that you wanted to talk about?
Dogs off leashes.
What's up with dogs off leashes?
So I take Red,
right.
my dog, for her first hike when she's like ready, because she was kind of scared of the leash at first, and then I trained her and she got ready to take her on a hike.
Right.
And Red loves to play with other dogs. She loves to play. She sees a dog. There's never been a dog she ain't seen she'd never want to play with. Okay.
Right.
She sees one dog, and it's an Australian Shepherd, and we're on a very narrow side of the trail, and they start to play with each other, and it's like getting close to the edge, like they could fall off. And the owner walks, owner's like course behind, walks up, and I'm like, it kind of makes me uncomfortable that you don't want to put a leash on your dog. And he was like, oh, really? My dog's the problem? I'm like, no, we're the problem. You're the problem. What are you talking about? Obviously, they have a pea-shaped brain. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
Like they're just playing. They're just.
You are the owner. Get your stuff together.
And he was like, and I was like, no, you're not the problem. Just like it's just like you're supposed to have a leash on this trail. That's what it says. And he goes, whatever, man. Eat a dick. And what I wanted to say was, I will. But I didn't. I just kept on walking.
Right.
Because it's just like, I don't want to deal with this lunatic.
And then what happened?
And I just kept walking. But it's like, it bothers me. I'm like, I don't understand that. You see it all the time in these trails. People don't put their dogs on a leash. And a lot of people, what they say is, I know my dog. She's trained. She'll be fine. And it's just like, that may be true. But like, dogs behave differently when one is in a leash and one isn't.
Why? See, sometimes I think that dog owners give more love or more credence that their pet is more important
than a human,
than the well-being of others.
Of humans.
Like, I don't care.
And another dog.
Right. Like, for example, they do the whole, my dog is a safety dog. What is it called?
Yeah, it's a
emotional
support animal.
A support animal.
Yeah.
And they're faking it just so that way the dog can go in restaurants.
Yeah, do whatever
or
they
a dog
want.
can go on airplanes. And what about the well-being of others that are around you? But they don't care because they would rather have their dog run rampant. I mean, people control their kids more so than they control their own dogs.
Yeah.
Which is mind-blowing to me. I love dogs. Like, I love them. But one's an animal and these are human beings.
Yeah, like we what was I going to say? Oh, like I think people will like accept flaws in their pets that they would never accept in a human. Like, I remember one lady, like I said, my dog really likes to play, and like it's kind of hard to train that out. Like, I mean, I can try, but there's only so much I can do. And she goes to play with this one dog, and the owner's like, pulls her away casually and is just like, yeah, she's great. She's not the best play. Like, if your dog gets too close to her, she will rip its face off.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what are we talking about here? What is, it's like, I'm going to get canceled for this, but like sometimes like that's a bad dog. Like
that is. Imagine if you did that. Imagine if someone came to play with you and you're like, ah!
Yeah, it would be bad.
They would say, calm down, Noah, but they don't do that with that dog.
I don't do that with a dog. And it's like, what if that dog does that to another human? Like, that could be really dangerous. Like, I think, you know, we rescued Red. Like, we believe in rescues. But I'm also like, we need to value. There are people out there not valuing human life. They're valuing their dog over their fellow man or woman.
And I think that's wrong.
Yeah. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. And I'm like, that's why you got to put your dog on a leash. Like, so many people do it. And it's like, also the other thing, protect the dog.
Yeah, what do you mean protect the dog?
Like, I'm sorry, like, these are all animals. You've domesticated them. They
Correct.
cannot live without you now.
That is true.
You don't know. The dog could see a fucking rabbit and just take off. And like on a lot of these trails,
there's snakes.
There's snakes and there's coyotes that live because we've taken over all of Los Angeles. Like, we're in coyote land, you know?
Right.
So like they're living like in the crevice of the hill or the hikes. If they run down, like, and if they're by themselves, they're getting eaten by a coyote. If you're not with your dog and they see a coyote,
a lot.
That happens. I don't know if that happens a lot, but like,
so by putting dogs on leashes, you're not only domesticating them so they don't wreak havoc with the other humans, but also in addition to that, you're keeping them safe.
You're just creating control, and also like dogs behave differently with other dogs. If one's on a leash and one isn't, like a lot of aggression can come into play. Like, that wouldn't normally happen. Like, there's something about like one dog feeling like, why am I want to go, let me at him, you know, and the other dog's like free, and it's like they get, you know, there's like a power struggle, you know.
It's like, oh, I'm not free. Yeah. And then it's like, ha, 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 ha.
Like, the only time Red growls is when like she really wants to play and I'm like holding her a little bit back. She'll be like, let me at her, you know. But yeah, it just bothered me. And also that guy just being like so mad, and I'm just like, you can't, like, nobody can handle like any sort of constructive criticism. Like, even like the only people who kind of can is like if you know them.
Right. But even then you have to tread lightly.
You have to tread lightly. People are very sensitive.
Well, that's why I believe in the compliment feedback loop.
Yeah.
This is what I like. I'm going to mention that. And then I'm going to give a kind of, as I like to say, characterization of where my feedback is coming from. So either my experience or so that way there is some logic to my feedback.
Yeah.
And then I provide the actual feedback.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
Because if they don't trust in my expertise, then why would they listen to me? And it sounds harsh. And then if I don't provide any sort of like uplifting statement, then they're going to close off right away. So it's like, I hear you. I saw your writing piece. It takes a lot of courage to even write this piece of work. Very vulnerable.
Yeah. Thanks for reading.
Coming from a place.
Should we act this out?
Yeah, go ahead. So basically, you send me an essay.
Yeah, I sent you an essay on bird tails.
Okay.
Because nobody really talks about those.
Okay,
so
perfect. So Noah, I got your bird wings.
No, bird tails.
I got your bird tails 5-page essay.
Yeah. What'd you think?
And this is what I think. To even write something like this, it's a topic that I didn't even know existed. And so I found it very fascinating. And like, oh my gosh, new information.
Yeah.
This coming from a place of me doing a lot of copywriting for YouTubers. So please understand. So that way that's where you get my mindset coming from. Mm-hmm. As I was reading, I was thinking about other authors that have written like similar styles as you.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Yeah.
See how they have the syntax. See how they were able to really decrease the amount of words that they use to explain a bird.
Yeah.
I think that I don't want to change your writing, but if you take that lens of, okay, maybe I am writing a little too much of a description where the audience can't really understand what's going on, then I get kind of confused. So let's take a look at this paragraph. See how you try to use too many metaphors.
Yeah.
Look at this example.
But what if I want that many metaphors? Well, did you ever think about that?
Right. I get that. And that's your writing. And I don't want to take that away.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I don't want to be like those other guys that you're reading.
Right. You're still going to be yourself. You're still writing. Yeah. Just think about it this way. I want you to read this and without re-explaining it to others what it means, does the audience understand what's going on?
Made sense to me.
Right. It made sense to you.
Yeah.
Though it doesn't make sense to, let's say you read it to 50 people that are not your friends. And you want, what is the goal? You want this to be read everywhere and understood everywhere, right? Or is this just, if this is solely for you, then I totally understand.
I mean, I think I did the work on it and I think it's kind of done.
Okay, but what's the goal? What's the goal with the paper?
I want to get it published in a newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if that's
New York
the
Times,
case, and
New Yorker.
remember, this is just coming from someone that has done this before
Yeah.
with other clients and
Because
things.
you've done this before.
Right. So don't take it. Understand. Take it with a grain of salt. So here we go.
Okay.
So now that we have this, I love how you put everything together. However,
Yeah.
I think a good exercise
Uh-huh.
is maybe have, a focus group of like 10, 20 friends or
20 friends.
strangers.
Yeah.
They can read it and sit back, look at how they're reading it, and figure out if they truly understand what you're writing here
Yeah.
without re-explaining. So, yeah, you can explain what you mean in that sentence, but you're never always going to be there with every single reader behind their back.
Right.
Right.
So you think I'm a bad writer?
Whoa.
Is that what you're saying?
I did not say that.
That's how it feels. It just feels to me that you read this thing and you think I'm a bad writer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I do apologize.
Yeah.
I want to start off from the get-go, like I said before, that I think it takes a lot of courage to write something like this. I understand that you're writing. You brought new information. It was exciting.
Yeah.
I think for the ability just to understand it just a little bit better, here are some suggestions.
Uh-huh.
And remember, this is only coming in place from like my experience.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do
Okay.
with like, I'm not, coming in where like you suck.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It just like what I'm kind of hearing from this whole thing is that you just think I should quit. And that hurts because I put a lot of work into this.
I hear you.
No, you don't.
No, I hear you. Go on.
You actually are listening to me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Okay. I put a lot of work into this. I spent hours on this essay and I just feel like really what I feel like is happening is you just don't get it. Like, because if you understood what I was going for, then you would be like, this is perfect. This is exactly what Noah had envisioned he wanted to write. But because you don't, this is why you have these other thoughts. So I really appreciate your constructive criticism. I really do. I really appreciate your time. I think you're great.
Thank you.
But if I were giving you some notes, and this is coming from me, from someone who has a lot of different types of experiences communicating with people, I would say that you need to kind of just like read something and like maybe try to get it and understand it before you start to critique it.
All right.
Yeah, that's what you could work on.
I will work on it. I just think I'll work on it.
Okay.
Just remember, you came to me voluntarily and you said, "Hey, Jonathan, would you read this and please provide me feedback?" I didn't.
Is that how I said it?
Yes.
Well, it was one of those things where I was just like,
Well, wait, I have a question. Were you just looking for, "Hey, Jonathan, please read this and I want feedback," but your feedback was like, "Hey, Jonathan, please read this and affirm me"?
Pretty much. I want.
Okay. So if that's the case, you should have made that completely clear because remember, this is what I do for a living. And so when you say, "Hey, Jonathan, here's something that I wrote. Please give me feedback." I'm already coming. Oh, how can I improve this? Because I believe in you so much.
Okay. And here's the thing. I believe in myself too. So what I need is to just have someone tell me that I'm great.
Okay, then you're great.
Thank you.
All right, cool. So, but then right here, then we're done.
I think we're done.
Yeah. So that's basically what it is. That's basically what it happened. That's exactly what happened actually. Recently, there was this girl. I'm gonna just like text you.
Just a sidebar. I know that was a great bit that we went on and really stayed in the game.
Yeah.
That is one of my most frustrating things. I try not to do that. Sometimes, you know, as a creator, you get very attached to some of the things you do, and you put a lot of time and effort into it. And when someone doesn't know that and they give you a note to tear the whole thing apart, it can hurt. But you have to, I think what I'm finding more and more is push past that ego. Just if you ask someone for help, really, and you trust them, really believe that they want to do that.
Remember, there's a very big...
And know your vision.
Right. Here's the thing. There's a very big difference between some random person coming to you and saying, "Hey, change this. What the fuck do you know?"
Yeah.
Versus if you were coming up and you're saying, I have this mentor, right? And I go, "Hey, Karen, I really need you to take a look at this." I love her so much. Karen X Chang, look her up. And I'm like, "Hey, I need help with XYZ. This is what I have. What do I do?" And she's going to come up with suggestions, and it may be harmful and it may hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change everything, but I'm going to take it into consideration.
Yeah.
I'm going to swallow my ego for a second and go, okay,
how can we make this better?
How do I make this better? At the same time, how do I keep Jonathan within it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so it's like a balance. It's never, oh, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about. It's, okay, she's not a hater. If you're searching for feedback, but if some random stranger's like, it needs to be this, fuck you.
Yeah, I also think like I find hard feedback to get is when someone's like a very successful person gives you feedback. Sometimes it can feel like I wish there was more of a like, you know, it's almost like viewed by them in a lens of like
I know better, therefore you should listen to me. This hubris.
Yeah, and also like not understanding that like I haven't been doing this as long as you, so I can't do it at a level that you can just yet. But so
that's why when we did the practice exercise, right? I first complimented you. I broke
right,
it down,
exactly,
and then I brought in new resources. I said, "Hey, look at this person."
I thought that was a great way to do it. Like if you were giving me feedback that way, I would very much respond to that. I would be excited. Here's the other thing about feedback.
I'm listening. Yeah.
I think the other thing about feedback is you are doing a bad job of giving someone feedback if that person doesn't leave that conversation excited to go into a new draft, excited to go into a new cut.
So I did a horrible job, right?
No, you did a great job. I was just being a character of a person who's like takes everything personal.
Well, that's why I asked. Then the question I asked, like, hey, listen. So what were you looking for? Right. Were you looking for me to affirm you or provide feedback? Like, here's an example of a person that sent me her stuff, and then we'll talk about more stuff. She goes, well, hold on. What'd she say? Okay, so she sent me a bunch of stuff, and she goes, also, was the story that bad? Because I didn't respond to her right away. She wanted feedback. I took a look, and the story definitely, at many times at the moment, did not make any sense.
Yeah.
And so she asked, was the story that bad?
Yeah.
And then this is how I responded. We are getting to know each other, so before I get into my thoughts, I would like to preface, I think, was the story that bad, quote unquote, is a strange question if you're looking for feedback. And then here's the compliment. To even have the ability to write something this vulnerable, put in hours, and then share it is something that others don't even have the guts / courage / resilience to accomplish. So as a creator, we're sensitive, so I'm telling her, listen, what you did, putting yourself out there, that compliment, that's great. Amazing.
It's a great step.
So I appreciate you for sending and cannot thank you enough for even letting me read, especially since I mainly specialize with helping clients, creators with landing pages and YouTube video storytelling. Now I'm providing her like, hey, this is my expertise.
Yeah.
So now you know where my lens is coming from. So to preface more, in my circle of close marketers / creators, we are there for each other to brainstorm all our videos, courses, and future projects.
Yeah.
And it is rarely about if work is bad. In fact, that is never said, but rather opening things up and seeing how the project can evolve, move, and shape. Telling her right away that, hey, listen, I get feedback too.
Yeah.
And I need improvement as well.
Yeah.
So now there's like,
I don't know everything.
There's that respect. Therefore, we can jump on a call if you are down, as this is what I find most enjoyable. There's a lot there, and I guess we can unpack it for a bit. And then lastly, I go, everyone who gives you feedback probably has the quote-unquote right answer, which is always true. But in reality, it is the goal to open you up and help you find the right answer for yourself. So yeah. I see feedback as a way as like I'm your therapist, and we're going to like find the right way.
Yeah.
And to me, that is how you're supposed to do it. It's to give feedback, it's got to be sensitive, and it's got to be long.
You do.
And it's got to be
If you can't do it, if you don't believe that you can make someone feel good about their writing, like even if it's bad, like you just don't have to tear them down. And also, it's like I think this in creative world, you know, who the fuck are you to tell someone that what they think is good is good? Like how many times has someone been like, you don't see it now, but I'm gonna show you. And then they deliver something that, you didn't see it when they talked to you about
exactly.
it. But they fucking did it. And if you would have been like, this is bad, they wouldn't have done it. And then that beautiful piece of art through perseverance and persistence
and challenge
would have never come out. You know?
Exactly. You want to be surrounded by people that are here to challenge you and not always affirm you, especially if you're an artist. Your dopamine levels will just skyrocket like crazy if you're always getting compliments. That's why I was afraid to show you those clips, but I showed you anyway because I don't want to have a dopamine thing inside my head. But that's why I always said when I send you the clips, I'm like, hey, regardless of views, I'm having a fun time.
Good.
Because the whole goal is...
Have they been posted yet?
No, they're October 7th.
Oh, cool.
But, yeah, but remember, it's like what we said in the very beginning.
Yeah, it's about what you do.
It's about what you do.
Don't think about the results.
Never think about the results. Always think about how much work am I putting into it, and am I always trying to like sort of like evolve with everything.
Yeah.
So
can we go deeper? In this podcast, it's like, can we go deeper?
Right.
Can we be more vulnerable? Just getting better and tighter about storytelling and
right.
It's just all those things.
So yeah,
we're talking about a podcast within a podcast.
A podcast within a podcast.
Yeah. In this podcast, we talk about podcasts.
Yes.
And what podcasts work and what podcasts don't.
I can't wait to have we should just have an entire hour of just advertisements.
Yeah, we should advertise podcasts, right? Just generically.
Have you heard of Reply All? Have you heard of More Perfect?
Have you heard of Clean Sound and Interesting Opinions? Try podcasts.
Speaking about, recently, a couple of days ago, I got an email from a girl saying like, "Where are you?" And the reason being is this is kind of like the preface where
like, where are you physically right now?
Like, hey, why aren't you talking to us?
So it's more like, where are you?
Yeah, where are you?
That's the line read.
So basically,
how do you know it's that?
Well, this is why.
Okay, sorry.
No, don't apologize.
No, I'm fucking sorry, dude. That was very arousing. That touch. Let's play that back.
So I came in, I used my hand and I grazed against his thigh.
Okay. I am very ticklish. I'm a very ticklish man.
Did you know that I used to massage? I've massaged like close to probably like 500 to 1,000 people.
What a brag! No, you fucking haven't.
Okay.
500 to 1,000 people.
Okay, maybe like 300 people.
300 fucking people? What? Like a tiny army?
Strangers, everything.
Were you the massage?
Okay, so sophomore. Here's the story. This is how I got into massaging.
Yeah.
Sophomore year in college.
This is how I got into massaging.
Yeah, sophomore year in college. I'm with my friends. There's 4 of us. Our shirts are off, and we are making lunch.
Okay.
Cutting.
What? Where are you?
We're in the person's apartment.
And you have your shirts off?
Our shirts off. It's hot.
Whose idea was this?
I don't know. We're just cooking.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know whose idea was it, but I remember our shirts are off.
What are you making?
We're just cooking. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, keep going.
So we're cooking, and all of a sudden, as we're cooking, we just like suddenly like look up and like look at each other silently. Like he looks at me. Blake looks at me. Mark looks at me. I look at Mark. I look at Aaron. Aaron looks at me. Aaron looks at Blake. And there's this weird like vibe and tension. And then suddenly Blake takes his hand and starts massaging me. And I start massaging. And then it just became a thing. And we started massaging each other at parties. And people started massaging us. And long story short, it became like one of my things where during interactions of conversation, regardless if it's a wedding or at a bar or on the street, trying to jump into, hey, I would love to massage you. Is that okay? And it's always full of a consent.
Yeah.
I have so many, like at one house party, for example, I don't know what the hell happened, but I was like, hey, I'm really good at massaging. And she's like, try it on me. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Can you massage me first? We go back and forth. There's a little laughter. And pretty soon I'm massaging her.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Pretty soon I'm massaging her.
But I'm also really good at massaging guys too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my friends that are girls that have boyfriends, I'm like, hey, can I step on your back? Can I have some fun?
Yeah. Hey, can I step on your back?
Because I think massaging
What a proposition.
Oh, dude. And I think massaging is one of the closest things that you can do with anybody. And also, to give a really good massage, you become like one with the person.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trust.
My hands start to hurt. Sid asks for massage all the time, and I do it, but then my hands start to hurt. That's why we got a Theragun.
Well, I can teach you how to do it properly. We're using more of your palm than your fingers.
Yeah.
That's why when I grazed, I know how to like...
I will say I hate being touched.
Well, was that too much for you?
It's fine. I'm not mad at you, but I think it's an interesting thing. Like, that doesn't bother me.
That is why that's why I always ask. There's always consent. Like, hey, can I touch you? Can I hug you? Can I touch you? Are you okay with this? All the time I ask.
I know.
Breathe in.
Yeah. I know some people, that's their love language. You know, like I know, like I have a friend who kind of like, you know, who kind of like will kind of give me a hug and like kind of grab me like around my torso, and it feels like I'm like a busty woman for a second.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I don't like being touched. I don't like some guy. I once had a friend in high school who would like jokingly like punch me in the arm.
Ouch.
And I'm like, I don't like this. Don't do it. You're hurting me.
Then they shouldn't do that.
Yeah, like I don't really like being touched. I have this other thing, like even with Sid, like if I'm like really upset with myself, she'll want to like care.
Of course.
And I'll be like, I think I'll be like, I don't want to be touched right now. And for a while that would, bother her.
Of course.
And and we got to the bottom of it. It's just like, I think in those moments, I like feel like I don't deserve the love, which is wrong. And I'm working on that because it's like, you always deserve love.
But that's your love language.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways.
No, but I'm glad. Thank you for letting me know. And now before I touch you, I'm always going to be like, can I?
Yeah.
Or is it okay? Like my favorite thing when I look at a woman, if I want to kiss her for the first time, I'm always like, would you like to kiss me?
I always ask too.
It's the best thing.
I always
Consent.
Ask. It feels kind of nice and comforting, and
also it's so cute because if she's like maybe,
yeah,
like hey, she's like of course, or like what are you waiting for? Then it's more fun.
Then it's like all of a sudden
also the anxiety goes down.
Yeah, and then Secret Garden by Bruce Springsteen starts to play.
Ooh.
He let you in your.
I'm not that white, so I don't know that song.
He took. Okay, what's a song that a romantic? Like, what's the most romantic song? Like,
it's a raining man, hallelujah. No,
it's raining man.
I don't know, My Girl maybe or
My Girl.
I don't know.
I guess you'd say.
I don't know if I want to kiss to that song.
No.
Maybe Lost Stars by Adam Levine.
How's that go?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Cheers to the one when you got.
So last year in April of 2020, the pandemic is going rapid.
The pandemic was going rapid.
And I thought to myself, I would love to go on dating apps just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, I am Asian American, and looking at the data, Asian men get swiped so less often than any other ethnicity.
There is a ton of racism in sex and relationships towards Asian people.
So then I think to myself, okay, how do I use what I know, my marketing background, to do something a little bit different?
To get this dick wet.
No, just to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I just don't. I already told you.
Yeah, we already talked about this.
So I made a site called QuarantineFacetimeDate.com.
You made a website?
Yes.
That's like your resolve for anything. You're like, don't worry, I'll make a website.
Yeah.
We're fine.
It's fine. So I made QuarantineFacetimeDate.com, and it's a landing page. It has reviews. It has a landing page video. Right. It has a sign-up form like, hey, if you want to be my girlfriend after you watch this video, go ahead and apply.
Oh, my God.
So then I went on Instagram, and I made an Instagram ad. Like, hey, hi, I'm Jonathan, blah, blah, blah. I put $40 into this ad, and it goes out. And in about a couple days, it gets like 30,000 views, a bunch of comments. And I'm like, And I checked the Google form, and in total, because I did it twice, in total, around 450 girls applied to be my girlfriend.
Really?
And the question...
Local? Are these local hires?
Local hires. West Coast.
Okay.
So we're looking at San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, California, West Coast, right? I think one in Washington or something.
All around.
And so the questions were like, hey, do you like Friends? What's your...
The show?
Yeah, the show. Like,
you like Friends?
I love Friends.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram handle? So that way I could see what they look like. And then, of course, like what vegetable gives you the most anxiety, whatever.
Can I ask which one is for you?
I think Brussels sprouts.
Wrong.
Okay. So anyway, then the 400 girls, they apply. Mm-hmm. And to have the FaceTime date with me, and I had a couple FaceTime dates with a few of the girls. But then as I was doing it, I'm like, I'm so overwhelmed. What do I do here?
Yeah.
So then I took all of the emails from these women and I put them on an email list. And then I sent out an email and said, hey, listen, I'm having a quarantine FaceTime show date, right? So come on in.
I think I remember this during the pandemic.
Right.
I think I remember seeing this online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
And they showed up, and I did a show with Morgan J, and we raised money for charity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how, I think I raised like $200 or $300.
Great.
And it was really fun because girls were giving me Q&A, like, oh, what are you into, blah, blah, blah. And I was able to provide some sort of entertainment. And did I form any relationships out of that? No.
Oh.
There was one girl, though, that hit me up, and we had a great time having a conversation. But then she got super upset because I just spaced out and forgot about her.
Uh-huh.
And then she hit me back. She's like, how dare you do this, blah, blah, blah.
Kind of rude.
But
it's okay, though.
So yeah, so $40 got me 400 leads, as I say. No,
That's great.
400 applicants.
That's great. That's a lot.
That was a lot.
That's so funny. Have you ever ghosted someone before?
Like I have the like they see my text that says read.
No, just you're dating someone and you just kind of stop, or you've gone out with them a couple times and you just kind of stop talking to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
I did that once.
What happened?
I was seeing a girl and she was very nice. We're friends now. And we went on a couple dates, and then one night, she said, hey, if it's not going to work out with us, like I'd like to stay friends. So just tell me.
Right.
And I, of course, just didn't tell her. And I just kind of, I don't think she was contacting me a lot. I was totally ignoring her, but I just I made it
Did you ever contact her again?
I maybe contacted her a couple times. I don't think I blatantly ignored her, but I definitely I ghosted her, and then I ran into her at a bar many months later.
Right.
And she was like, what the fuck?
Why did you ghost me?
Why'd you ghost me? I specifically asked you not to do that. And I was like, I'm really immature, and you're right. I don't know why I did that. That's my bad, and I'm sorry. And you are cool, and we are in very similar circles, and
right.
And I guess I didn't know that we really could be friends, but we were hanging out, we were having a nice time together, so I was like, oh, we could do this. This won't be that big of a deal.
And then you ghosted her again.
No, and I apologized, and then we became friends.
Oh wow.
But yeah, there was a 9-month period where that's the only time I can remember. But
have you've been ghosted before? Hopefully.
I've been ghosted.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've been ghosted. But it happens. It's whatever.
Come on too strong, want to date someone, and they're like,
that's why
not you.
I mean, so that's why the suggestion that I have with a lot of people is don't get stuck on one individual until you go out on a couple dates.
Yeah.
If you just meet them for the first time and then you send them a text and they don't get back to you, as long as you have another girl, so it's fine.
Don't be invested too much until you really feel it. You feel like it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just try to have fun.
Fun. That's so hard. I don't know. I'm just, sometimes I just want to be in a relationship, but you just can't force it.
You cannot force it. If you do, it doesn't happen.
I remember,
You're not gonna say it.
I think it's just too NC 17 or X-rated. But I do.
I'm on a fucking podcast.
I'll end with this kind of quick little story, which I think was I was thinking about college and stealing and things.
Yeah.
Because now we're in the topic of stealing. Again, don't judge me, but love me.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm loving you for being vulnerable.
All right, cool. So
as long as you tell me you don't like.
Whoa, never. Not yet. Jesus Christ. Not ever.
Okay, keep going.
Hold on. All right, cool. This is perfect. So basically, freshman year of college, my roommate and I, Grant and myself, we're having a massive argument.
Uh-huh.
What? About rhinos and ninjas.
Okay.
Right? When you're 18 years old, you have those type of arguments.
What was there to argue between those two?
It's who would win in a fight, a rhino or a ninja?
You guys are arguing that?
Yes.
That's fucking
no.
Not weird. That's weird.
You don't understand. Ninjas can destroy rhinos.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, rhinos can destroy ninjas.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what happened. I guess because he was a conservative and I was a liberal, we always fought. And I guess we just decided, instead of all the other issues in the world right now, focus on ninjas versus rhinos.
You think a rhino or a ninja would?
I think a rhino would always lose when it comes against a ninja. A ninja has agility. A ninja can jump. A ninja has traps. A rhino is just a hard shell with a freaking horn that can run in straight lines.
Yeah.
It can't go left or right.
And demolish you and eat you.
Yeah, but a ninja can jump. And a ninja has all these different weapons and gear.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
I'm just saying that's why a ninja would win.
Okay. I don't agree, but that's fine.
See how we're getting into it?
Yeah, that's
how it started. It started off as a little joke, and then we got so heated.
Okay, keep going.
So he's like, fuck you, Jonathan. I'm like, fuck you, Grant. And so he goes inside his room, and he jumps on the bunk bed. Yeah. And I'm like, no, come back. I get in there, and I'm like, hey.
You had separate rooms at your college?
What?
You had separate rooms at your college?
No, we had the main room where you study. It was like 4 people that lived
Right.
Main room, 2 people lived on the right side, 2 people lived on the left
What
side.
What college is this?
UC Berkeley.
UC Berkeley. Keep going.
So I walk in. I'm like, no, we got to finish this.
Yep.
And he takes his towel,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, no, and he swings it at me. And as the towel begins to like fly to my face, I look to the left, and there's the closet door. And I'm like, yes. And I open it up and I swing it as kind of like a shield. So the door is coming, the towel is like in slow motion, and the towel hits the door closet.
Yeah.
But ding, here's the thing. Yeah, ding. Here's the thing. The closet door has a mirror on it. So it smacks the mirror. And as the ricochet of the towel comes back, the mirror is just so loose on the door that as the door begins to swing backwards because of the force, the mirror begins to slowly fall.
Ooh.
And we're like, no, like it's slow motion. And it hits the floor and it shatters everywhere. And Grant and I are like, oh no. And I look at him like, oh no. And he's like, I don't want to pay for this. And I'm like, I don't want to pay for this either because about a couple weeks earlier, someone threw a Frisbee at our door and we had to pay $80 just to fix it.
$80
and so we're like, fuck,
college.
we don't want to pay for this. And I'm like, don't worry, Grant. I got you.
Yeah.
Take the broom, fix this. I'll be right back. And I go underneath my bed and I take out my toolkit. I take out like a Phillips screwdriver because I know exactly what to do. Now, we lived on floor 2. And if you're going to do anything, you don't want to go to floor 1 or floor 3 because you're right in the center. So I walk up the stairs to floor number 4 and I get inside the bathroom. Because in the bathroom, there are mirrors there that replicate the same type of mirrors on our closet door.
This is some National Treasure Nicolas Cage shit.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Hey.
So I take out my screwdriver and there's like 4 holes. So I do 1, 2, 3, and then it's kind of getting loose. So I take my left hand a little bit and I take out the 4th screw. Everything goes in my pocket. I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm about to take the mirror. When I'm about to take the mirror, the door opens.
Oh.
So I put the mirror back. I put my left hand in. I'm holding it. I turn on the water and start splashing my face.
Sup?
And then
Freshman year.
And I'm like, ugh. And the guy, he starts, I don't know what the hell he's doing.
He's jerking off in this.
He's taking his time. He's like brushing his teeth. He's combing his hair. And my hand is like shaking. I know the guy. His name is Ryan. He's now a pharmacist, by the way. Anyway.
Good for him.
So I'm like holding my hand and I can't hold it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, Ryan. And he's like, what's up? I'm like, I'm about to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do it, you have to promise me that you're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. I'm like, please? He's like, I promise. And I take the mirror and I go. About the end of the month comes, the newsletter of the dorm gets slid on our door, and it goes, beware. There are thieves. They're stealing laptops, bikes, and bathroom mirrors.
Bathroom fucking mirrors. Not another one.
And that's how I met my best friend. That's how we became best
Ryan?
friends. No.
In your dorm room?
Yeah, because ever since then, it's like, oh, wow, he would do anything for me.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah.
You guys are still tight?
After Biden kind of won, it's kind of been like...
Tough.
It's been very, very tough.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
He's a very hard, staunch, like conservative and lives in Florida. And I've been trying to reach out. I'm like, hey, how are you? But he hasn't responded.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the... Man, am I a horrible person? I keep on stealing things.
No. I respect the stealing the mirror thing. I think I could see myself doing that. The bikes... I'm glad you don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like people's things and they spend a lot of money. They care about bikes. Could be the only way they can travel to work. You know, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. It's something you can learn from.
Did you have fun today? I learned a lot from you.
I had a blast today.
Now, where can people find you?
People can find me at Noah Built the Ark. Who built the Ark?
Fucking Noah.
Built the Ark. That's right. On all platforms.
Yeah.
Right
you can follow me on Jonathan Garano on Instagram. Everything is down below. But don't forget... If you're watching this right now, don't forget to graze your little kneecap to the like and subscribe button on YouTube. That's number 1. And number 2, if you leave a 5-star review or follow us on Spotify and you leave a 5-star review and you leave your like Instagram handle, what do we do, Noah?
Can you tell me? Because I'm gonna do it, and I don't think I remember.
We will send you a
a
video DM
video
message.
DM, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Should we take that again?
No, it's great.
Okay.
All right. We love you guys.
Love you.
Peace.
Bye.